Hi, this is Rob. Welcome back to my backyard on this COVID-19 Memorial Day weekend. I've got my beautiful wife Margot helping me out here as we explore the Kata Seisan. I'd hoped that we'd be back in the dojo by now, but it appears that it'll at least be a few more weeks before we get to train together again. So I hope you all are having a chance to at least work on Sanshin and your Kata occasionally. As you know, Seisan was one of the three original Kata that Count Boom passed on. So I would encourage those of you that know this Kata to practice it. For those that were just learning it, hopefully this will be a little bit of help. If we haven't introduced this to you yet, this video is probably not for you. So with that said, let's begin Seisan. Seisan begins as does Sanshin, with some Sanshin thrusts. But what I'd like you to focus on, at least what I focus on in my own training, is the position of my feet and my balance. So again, I want to feel my posture, because I tend to supinate, I tend to roll out. I want to feel my weight come back more evenly on my feet, slightly biased to the balls of my feet. I want to feel my hips sink. I want to feel my waist, so I'm sinking into my own hips, and my posture become tall. As I bow from the hips, with my eyes striking with my head, and I come in to the ready position. Again, I'm going to feel my hips sink in, sitting into my pelvic girdle. My arms are going to come down. My little fingers, my palms together, are going to pull into the earth. I'm going to feel this roundness and this spiraling going on with my entire body. But most focus is going to be on my koshi, and then on my spine and my hara as I position myself. So again, all this preparatory stuff, just how you bow and how you set up, is very important in terms of how you do your kata training. So while there's certainly when you're reverse learning kata, there's this urgency to see if you remember all the movements, and I certainly did the same thing. Once you have the movements and the pattern down, you really want to spend more time as you train looking at what's going on with your body. How are you organizing internally? What are you in control of your entire body? Because at the end of the day, the purpose of Sanshin and the purpose of Kata is that you're controlling your body. It's also transmitting technique. But more importantly, what's going on with you? How are you doing at making sure that every movement you're making is under your control? So again, we go with the bow, rolling, feeling the shoulders, my collarbone slightly open, begin to connect with my hara, and to connect with my koshi. As I open, striking from my hips, not from my shoulders, but from my hips, coming up and opening. Now I tend to open a little higher than some people. I know some people keep their hands in there. I find this to be a position that just makes me too open. I feel too much ski, too much openness. So my hands come up. I do my Sanshin strikes again from my hips. As I'm doing this strike, it's not my arm pulling back, it's my hip, it's my upper tendon in the back, all working together. I squeeze my armpit, I focus on my little finger and strengthen my palm, and let the strike come out. After those three opening thrusts, I'm going to do a technique. This is called a Uechi. This is literally scissor technique. Now, there are different ways again of performing this technique. Many of the, I don't think there's a kata that doesn't have different ways of performing each technique. But the way I do it is I'm, again, practicing what we discussed in the Kanshu kata. I'm moving my body into the plane of my hands. So it's as though my hand is here, my body's moving in to it. So I'm not cocking my arm back. I mean, I am cocking my arm back, but it's the motion of my body forward that's cocking the hand. So from this position, I'm going to slide forward and strike with this scissor strike. Now, as I do this, I don't flip my hands over before I strike. I don't go here to then here. My hands are rotating into the strike, so I'm getting this centrifugal force going into the strike. I'm also trying to feel centrifugal force and feel the power of these spirals down in my feet and from my core. So I don't want to just be striking with my shoulders and my hands. I want my whole body to be in the strike. As I do those next three motions, these oshikens up the center line, I want to make sure that I'm doing them with a sense of spiraling up, coming up from my center. As I set it up, 1, 2, 3, and then back to my own mid area, so that I'm right about at the solar plexus of my hands. Not down here, not up here, but right about at the solar plexus. From here, I'm going to drive up. Now, as I drive, I'm not driving this way. I'm coming up. Again, sort of this angling up, as though I'm driving up underneath my own chin, right underneath this beard, and driving into it. I come up, and then I bring up the knee strike. Now, as I bring up this knee, I'm aiming for my own center line. Now, that's not really going to happen, but I'm aiming to come as much centered as possible. Also, as I'm coming up, my foot is down. When we get back to class, or if you've got somebody that can help you as you're practicing your kata, just bring your leg up, have your foot out and have them press on your knee, or have your foot down and have them press on your knee. See which feels more powerful for you. But what I find is when I do this, it tends to extend the knee more into where I'm striking. So that's the way I practice it. Up. Also, as I'm coming up, I want to feel this connection with what I call this ball of energy in front of me. I want to feel my elbows in. I want to feel my hands, especially from right in the center of the palms, spiraling out. And I don't want my shoulders to collapse forward. I want to feel my shoulders connecting again with my koshi. So in this position, I want to be able to feel my back muscles. If I roll over, I can't do that. I want to feel my back muscles, and that allows me, when I step into strike, to again bring the power from my hara and the power from my koshi. We'll pick up in part 2, where we go from there.